I smashed my bratty nephew's phone and I'd do it again. My nephew Brayden used to be so sweet and adorable as a kid. He'd always run up to me screaming, "Pretty auntie's here," and do a cute little dance whenever I baked him cookies. But after my sister's divorce, he changed. He started throwing fits wherever we went. He'd go around stealing food off of strangers' trays. Even started bullying his 5-year-old brother. Last Thanksgiving, while my uncle was praying, Brayden suddenly shoved his little hands inside the turkey and tore it apart so violently, my uncle nearly collapsed. And my sister's response to this? "Oh, he's just been through a lot, so you can't blame him for being bad." That became her answer to everything. He's just a kid. He's still adjusting. When I mentioned maybe getting him therapy, she just laughed. At some point, my family just learned to keep quiet and let Brayden do whatever he wanted, until he decided to mess with my daughter. 3 months ago, my daughter Daisy entered a regional youth baking competition. She'd always been obsessed with baking and even ran her own YouTube channel sharing easy recipes for kids. So when she heard about the competition, she completely flipped out. "Mom, please, can I enter this? The winner gets to go to a culinary program in New York for one entire summer," she shouted, pointing to the post on social media. She grabbed her piggy bank from her room and dumped it out onto the floor, counting it out loud to show she had enough of the entry fee. I smiled. "If you promise to give it your all, then I'll sign you up right now," I told her. She nodded furiously and immediately started designing her competition cake, a 3-tier showpiece with hand-piped flowers and a mirror glaze she taught herself from YouTube. She even added tiny macarons to cover the top, something most adults struggled to make. But Daisy was determined to see it through. A few days before the competition, she started baking each piece at home, spending hours in the kitchen making sure everything was perfect. The night before, she completed it. Each layer was beautifully crafted. Even pictures I took didn't do it justice. We placed it carefully on a stable cake stand and stored it away, ready for the morning. That same night, my sister showed up completely unannounced and asked for a favor. "Could you bring Brayden with you to the competition? Maybe it'll inspire him to do something nice like Daisy." I wanted to say no, but he was already here. Before I could invite him in, he ran to the kitchen and shouted, "Where's the cake?" Daisy blocked him from the fridge and shook her head. "You can't have any. It's for the competition tomorrow." He growled at her like an angry dog and grabbed her ponytail, trying to drag her out of the way while she screamed, "Mom!" I ran over and pulled them apart. "Brayden, I will send you straight home if you don't behave." "This cake is not for you," I shouted, his eyes filled with tears. "You're just like Dad. He always shouted at me, called me a bad boy. That's why he left." I sighed and patted his head. "I promise you can have cake after the competition, okay? In fact, I'll get you anything you want as long as you don't touch that cake," I told him. He nodded but kept glaring at the kitchen. I should have sent him home right then. That night, I woke up around 3 a.m. to get water. When I walked into the kitchen, I froze. Brayden was sitting on the floor with frosting all over his face and hands. The cake was completely destroyed. All 3 tiers smashed, the macarons crushed. He looked up at me and just kept eating. I tried to salvage what I could, but it was hopeless. The stores weren't open. I didn't have ingredients. I was out of time. Hours later, Daisy woke up and ran to the kitchen. She saw the mess and just stood there, silent, tears streaming down her face. The competition had already started and we had no cake to send. My sister arrived that morning to pick up Brayden. She saw the destroyed cake, Daisy crying, me exhausted from being up all night trying to fix the problem. And the first thing she said was, "Well, you shouldn't have left it where he could reach it." That's when I had it. I stood up, laughing. "Oh my, you are so right." I grabbed Brayden's phone from his hands and threw it on the tile floor as hard as I could. The screen shattered. Bits and pieces of it flew everywhere. My sister screamed, "What was that for? That phone's not even paid off yet. I still have $800 on it." I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "Well, you shouldn't have left it where I could reach it." Then I grabbed her phone and smashed it too. "Whoops, you shouldn't have left that one where I could reach it too." She grabbed Brayden's arm and started dragging him to the door. That's when I shouted out, "Hey Brayden, being mean won't bring your dad back. So stop, okay?" Everyone went silent, their mouths hanging open. My sister slammed the door on her way out. I turned to Daisy, ready to apologize when she suddenly grabbed my hand. "Mom, car, now." She ran to her room and came back holding a spare miniature version of the cake. "It was supposed to be a surprise for you, but this'll have to do. We made it to the competition with minutes to spare. Today I got an email. Congratulations."